Okay, so today we're going deep on Chinese mythology,
Okay.
and specifically the Eight Immortals
All right.
crossing the East China Sea.
Sounds good.
Now, have you ever heard that story before?
I have. Yeah, I've heard it in a few different forms.
Yeah.
Um, but it's always a wild ride.
Yeah, it's like a cosmic road trip with a side of a magical showdown.
Yeah.
And I think for people who are new to this story, like
Yeah.
the Eight Immortals, right? They're not just these like, run-of-the-mill deities. Like
Right.
we're talking, shape-shifting, magic-wielding figures.
Yeah, absolutely. Each one has like their own unique powers and personalities.
Yeah. Yeah, and they represent like different aspects of like human life and like, the pursuit of immortality.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes this story so much fun. Like it's not just gods doing god things, right? It's like a window into this whole world of like Taoist beliefs and practices and how they saw the universe.
So, okay, so we've got these eight larger-than-life figures, and they decide to take a little trip across the East China Sea.
Right.
But it's not like they're hopping on a ferry or anything.
No. They're the
Fun.
Eight Immortals. They travel in style.
Right.
And this is where it gets interesting because each of them chooses to use their unique powers to cross.
Yeah, like who needs a boat when you can ride a magical fan across the sea?
Exactly. It was Lu Dongbin, actually, the kind of the leader of the group. He was the one who suggested that they each use their own method.
Oh, so it's like a who has the coolest magic trick competition.
Yeah, kind of like that with the East China Sea as their stage.
I love it. So tell me more about like how they actually cross. Like what are some of the ways they use their powers?
Well, you've got He Shengonggu, for example, who's known for her compassion.
Okay.
She floats across on a lotus blossom, representing purity and serenity.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right, and then you have Zhang Lao, who's this kind of eccentric old man. He rides across on a paper mule, which can be folded up and put in his pocket when he's not using it.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's very practical.
Yeah.
And then you've got Iron Crutch Lai,
Yeah.
who actually tosses his crutch across the sea and then flies over on a cloud.
Wow.
It's really quite a sight to imagine all of these immortals using their powers in such different ways.
Yeah, it's like a magical parade or something.
Exactly.
But okay, so they're having this fun little, magical journey,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't stay peaceful for long, right?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Fortunately.
Good.
Well, the sea, which was initially calm, it starts to grow turbulent.
Uh-oh.
And then Cao Guju spots a mirage.
Oh, and mirages in Chinese mythology, they're often like a bad omen, right?
And they're not just illusions, they're signs of disruption,
Oh,
of something being amiss.
so something's definitely off.
Yeah. And to make matters worse, Lan Caihe, one of the immortals,
Yeah.
vanishes.
What, just like poof, gone.
Gone without a trace.
Oh, wow. Okay, so now we've got turbulent seas, a bad omen, and a missing immortal.
Right. It's like all the ingredients for a mythological disaster.
Yeah, for sure. So what happens next? Do the other immortals just kind of like shrug and keep going?
Oh, no. They're not the kind to abandon a friend.
Okay.
Especially when there's clearly something fishy going on.
Right. So do they think the Dragon King had something to do with Lan Caihe's disappearance?
Well, suspicions definitely fall on him.
And why is that? I mean, they were just passing through his territory, right?
Yeah, but remember, the Dragon King is a powerful entity. He's the ruler of the seas, and he's got this reputation, for being a little bit territorial, a little bit proud.
Right.
And so the immortals, even with all their abilities, they were essentially encroaching on his domain.
So it's a matter of like respect and boundaries.
Exactly. And I think it also highlights this tension that often exists in mythology between different realms of power,
Right.
You've got the celestial realm, the earthly realm, the watery realm, and they don't always get along.
Right. Yeah, like a cosmic turf war.
Kind of.
So what do the immortals do? Do they try to like negotiate with the Dragon King or?
Well, they confront him,
Okay.
and what follows is this epic clash of divine forces.
Wow.
Spells are illuminating the sky, the sea is churning with the Dragon King's fury. It's like the fabric of reality is trembling beneath their power.
So this isn't just like a little skirmish. This is a full-blown cosmic battle.
Right. It's a battle for the ages.
Wow. So who wins?
Well, it's not really a question of winning or losing. It's more like who gets called to the principal's office.
You mean like divine intervention?
Exactly. The Immortals' battle with the Dragon King was so intense that it attracted the attention of the gods in heaven.
Oh, that's not good. It's like getting busted by the cosmic cops.
Pretty much. The gods see this whole mess and they're not happy.
Okay, so what happens next? Do the gods take sides?
Well, they step in to mediate,
Okay.
and their verdict is actually quite interesting.
What is it?
They don't necessarily take sides. They see the conflict as a result of both parties' actions.
So both the Immortals and the Dragon King were in the wrong.
In a way, yes. They each contributed to the chaos and disruption.
So what's the punishment?
Well, the Immortals are demoted.
Demoted? What does that even mean for Immortals?
It means they lose some of their power and status. They're kind of put on probation, you could say.
Wow, so even though they were trying to rescue their friend, they still got punished.
Right. It's like the old saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, I guess even Immortals aren't above the law.
Exactly.
So what's the takeaway from all of this? I mean, what can we as mere mortals learn from this cosmic drama?
Well, I think it's a reminder that power in any form is a double-edged sword.
Right.
It can be used for good or for ill, and even with the best of intentions, our actions can have unintended consequences.
It's like a cosmic cautionary tale.
Exactly. And I think it also speaks to the human desire for power and the thrill of adventure, but also the importance of humility and respect.
Absolutely. Wow, this has been an amazing deep dive. I feel like we've journeyed across the East China Sea ourselves.
Me too. It's always a fascinating story to revisit.
So what's the one thing that really stands out to you about the Eight Immortals?
I think it's their relatability. You know, for all their magical powers, they're still flawed. They make mistakes. They face challenges just like we do.
Yeah, they're like us, but with cooler transportation.
Exactly. And I think their story reminds us that even in the face of adversity, we can still find hope and meaning in our journey.
Absolutely. Well said. Thank you so much for this incredible deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time, folks.
Keep exploring.